gave her a jersey, I told her to join my team. It's best you go where it's safe. You know how I play. I get to a sack like Frank. You can teach money to fly. I turn it a hop. I catch it and go to the bank. It's crazy. I'm used to the lights. I'm shining so bright. This visor will cover my face. You see me working and working. I'm getting it done. And soon they be feeding me grapes. I told my boys it ain't no limits. Told all my dogs it ain't no limits. Put your head in the game, head in the game, head in the game. Head in the game, head in the game. They screaming my name when I walk in the building. Yellow diamonds on me like I play for the Steelers. I'm in the field, yup, just like a Steeler. Oh, this your girl, my band had the Steeler. I hop on the beat and I float like a river. I caught a TD, yeah, right across the middle. I'm speaking thanks, boy, you telling riddles. Can't hang with the gang, so we had to sit them down. I'm in LA, riding around in the ram. My dog just called, say he finna touchdown. When I call a play, you won't hear a sound. Hold up, money calling right now. I gotta go and get it, and it don't matter how. All I know is, man, yeah, I'm 10 toes down. I keep my head high and my eyes on the prize. Yeah, my feet on the ground. Let's go. Let's go. I told my boys it ain't no limits. No. Told all my dogs it ain't no limits. Put your head in the game, head in the game, head in the game. Head in the game, head in the game. Two turned up, turned down right now. Two dope make better get around right now. Hey, I'm two turned up, turned down right now. Two dope make better get around right now.
Why would I ever have to cop a chain a game when the QB chain birthed most of the chains in the game? No post office, we stamping time. Took a slice out of the big apple, made apple pies, family size. Leather bombers and Nike Sacai's. Dangerous corners, you better pray that tomorrow arrives. Rap, Sugar Ray Robinson, nothing sweet. Y'all too out of shape to even box with me. Heavyweight, I know my way around the ring. Just like Shorty know her way around the storm. Making hits with Hit Boy, all he gotta do is hit record. Record breaking news.
U.S. Bank Stadium holds just under 70,000 spectators, and they've come out in full force for this one. A fantastic atmosphere here in Minneapolis. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the Chicago Bears and the Minnesota Vikings. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. And we will not get a run back here to start. It's a touchback, and it will come out to the 25. To Montgomery to begin the drive. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. This defense for the Vikings, they were very good last week in the win over New Orleans.
And no matter what's done throughout a ball game, it always comes back to blocking and tackling. That's the essence of football. But I think it's hard for people to understand just how difficult it is to tackle, especially open field. Very few missed tackles on tape that I saw last game. This team does a nice job of getting their opponents on the ground.
Meanwhile, Fields' throw taken in by Pringle.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
And he's going to have a first down as he's brought down at the 44-yard line. They'll get 9 out of that one, and as a result, the drive continues. It was just third down and short, but he bit off a little extra.
I would say way more than he could chew, but he chewed up all that yardage in a big way. And that, to me, that was a combination of offensive line, stacked defense, and they handled it. Okay, they got the leverage, they got the blocking angles, and opened up a nice crease. And once you get past that first wave, there's room to roam.
Yeah, that's just the third play from scrimmage. They wanted to avoid that 3-and-out. They did. 18 yards on that one, and Chicago has the first.
Chicago trusted Darnell Mooney to step up and be their top wide receiver, and he gave them a 1,000-yard season in return.
That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. close. And the Vikings are going to get it back here just past the 35. Well, that is a quick lesson on how difficult this defense is to throw against. An interception on their initial drive of the ball game.
Now we know why their offensive staff spent the entire week awake trying to prepare for this one, because you can't totally shy away from throwing the football. But at the same time, you're looking at them and going, where are the weaknesses? How are we going to move it?
One of the top defenses in the NFL for a reason. We just saw one example right there. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he puts his head down and gets up to the 42 for a gain of about 6. Charles, they won last week despite him not running the ball well. They told us need to get him going. Runs like that help.
And they talked to us about leaning on him because, as you noted, last week they didn't have to. Still won the ball game. They leaned on other people to give them the yardage that they needed, but they really want him to be that guy, and that's what they're doing early in this game.
Meanwhile, Cousins' throw taken in by Hockenson here. And he'll be tackled on the other side of midfield at the 46-yard line.
Nice job, nice patience right there. Put him on the right side, let him work his way across, put the ball in his hands, and let him work his way upfield with a catch.
First down, here's the run with Cook. He's got it to the 43 here. Well, the Vikings had 2-2 through the first 4 weeks of the season. And they were winners their last time out, so they'll be looking to make it 2 in a row.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset. Being in the right frame of mind, and the best way to get in that good frame of mind, winning. So they come in feeling good. They've got the home crowd behind them. I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
They get 7 there on the screen. It'll set up a 3rd down.
That's a nice design there, but sometimes, though, you get so many blockers out ahead of you, they kind of slow you down and force you to adjust. You always appreciate guys trying to help you, but maybe one less there could have turned this into a bigger gain.
They'll run it. Here's Cook. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. 4 yards on the pickup. Good enough to extend the drive.
Well, partner, what do you think? Might have been 4-down territory if they didn't pick it up, but...
Yeah, it's a moot point now. I was curious, so if they didn't get it there, would they have gone for it? I guess we'll never know.
Yeah, we didn't have to make that call, but I have a feeling both of us would have said, go for it.
Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. It's caught in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. A great effort there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings use the early turnover to get on the board first here in this one. Joseph connects on the extra point, and that makes the score 7-0. Joseph now to kick this one away. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. They threw an interception the first time they had the football, wound up leading to a touchdown the other way. How do you approach drive number 2?
Going back to your game plan coming in, everyone has matchups that they like better than others. Where they think they have an advantage, dial up some of those plays. Try and go to those spots and get your offense moving.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Back to throw, Fields. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. Big yardage there on the scramble. It gets him a 1st down.
He was certainly quick to atone for his early game interception. Instead of making another mistake forcing something, he reset himself and found a lane to pick up the 1st down.
So they move from 136 over to the other as they come up on 1st down. They run, Montgomery, and he'll manage to pick up about 4 at 2nd down. Zadarius Smith able to get him down. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. To throw on 2nd and 6. Fields. The throw for Claypool is intercepted. Picked off by Harrison Smith. And the Vikings are going to take over at their own 41. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
And he'll be pretty well stopped in his tracks. Give him a yard up to the 42. The run only got a yard. Here's 2nd and 9.
You know, it's not just all athleticism from defensive linemen. Let's give them a little credit for their football intelligence as well. Read and react by them.
He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown, Vikings. Justin Jefferson, his 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead. That's an early touchdown grab for last week's NFC Offensive Player of the Week. He was so electric, and they talked about it all week long. Have to try to contain it.
And now for him, being able to focus on the task at hand and not just immediately assume that last week it totally carries over, but you got to like the start that he has, showing those great hands that we've seen from him throughout.
Joseph connects on the extra point, and it's now 14-0. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
On 2nd and 10, Fields. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
And he's only hit on 2 of his first 6 passes. Time for a quick quarterback regroup here with a big 3rd down coming up.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. Fields now to throw. Going up top. A huge play there for Chicago. 45 yards.
This offense has been slow to get started, but that play will certainly give them a little bit of life. Maybe the late wake-up call that they had been seeking.
So the big play has them all the way down to the 30 now for 1st and 10. First down, here's the run with Montgomery. So the hand got inside the face mask that time. Looked like a pretty easy call.
And it was, and we saw this in their loss last week. Penalties at inopportune times that led to their demise.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. A hit as he throws there, incomplete.
Partner, what we're seeing so far is a defense is certainly coordinated. Both levels doing their jobs in tandem. The back helping the front helping the back. The pressure got home on that last play and forced him to try and throw through contact and short of the sticks.
Fields throwing again. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And the Bears are looking at first and goal as he's tackled all the way down at the 2-yard line.
Well, these guys have definitely been outplayed in the first half, but I like their countenance. I like the way that they're having panicked out there, the way they're carrying themselves. They're starting to move the ball, and what you have to do, maintain your poise and start to put together some drives.
Here's Fields. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
When you run in the slant, timing is everything, and against that man coverage, there was no space available, and incompletion as a result.
Second and goal, and they will try again from the 2-yard line. Montgomery is not going to get back to the line of scrimmage as they'll tackle him at the 3. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down.
I thought they were onto something with their play call and kind of went in reverse a little bit. Threw it on 1st down, then ran it on 2nd down. Not successful either way. What play call do they come up with here on this important 3rd down try?
That's complete right side to Kmet. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. Call it a loss of 2 there on the play. And that will bring up an interesting decision here on 4th and goal. They snap it to Fields. And it'll be intercepted. Picked off by Lewis Seen. And the Vikings are going to get the ball back on the turnover. They hold on 4th and goal. Well, Charles, certainly circle that play. We might have to revisit it later. They had 3 in their back pocket. They go for it on 4th and goal and throw the pick.
Well, you know, we're still in the first half. A bold call nonetheless. And I guess the book might have said take the 3, but it looks like they burned the book and just said give me the analytics. And the analytics said go for it. Didn't work out. So much about defending the pass is being able to be right there the moment the ball gets to the receiver, and he was right in his hip pocket helping force that incompletion.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he's going to take this up past the 10 to about the 11. They don't need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Let's see if they do it anyway. Third down, Dalvin Cook. And he's got room. And they work this well upfield across the 45. Second quarter action, 1:56 remaining. The big play has them all the way out near midfield for a 1st and 10. From the gun, here's Cousins. Forced out to his left. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down.
Good defensive call right there because they had someone shadowing him along his entire route. And he was right there ready to provide a hit that prevents him from making another catch to his big start.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Cousins setting up the screen for Cook. And some room to roam now. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. Give him 18 there and give the Vikings a 1st down. Cousins to throw it. And that is incomplete.
Well, a momentary speed bump there with that throw, partner. The defense had other ideas, and they're trying to mount a small stand before this drive reaches the end zone.
They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. They'll throw again. Cousins. Open here, Adam Thielen. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. 18 yards there, down to the 18 and a 1st down.
So many times in my career I've heard coaches talk about completions are one thing, but as long as we're there at the catch and we get guys on the ground, we can live with that. But if you're going to give up 10, 12, 15 yards after the catch, then your defense is going to be in a lot of trouble.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10.
And good yardage there on first down, because sometimes all you need to do on the screen is get one key block. That might set your man free, and that was pretty good pursuit to the football defensively, or it could have gone for more.
Looking to throw again on second down. Cousins, and that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down.
Well, it hasn't been a banner first half for the defense trying to cover him today, but they'll take that one right there, helping force that incompletion.
The heavy set out there. 3 tight ends in the formation for 3rd and 3. Third down, here's a run by Cook. And he picks up the first as he's able to take it down to the 7-yard line. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving. This is a very impressive drive, especially when you consider where they started from to now be set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, it's some nice running right there. That's what got them the first down. But at this point, I suggest open up your playbook. You can call just about what you want.
They'll run with Cook. 64 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime. On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. He'll get it up the middle, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. Now another timeout called for by the offense. So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime.
And that's what I'd like to see out of this defense, a little fire, a little toughness. It hasn't been the best first half for them, but they did do a nice job there, forcing a loss on that play.
A couple extra tight ends are in. 3rd and goal from the 1. They'll run for it with Cook. And Cook was fighting for it, but I don't think he got there. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as they'll stop it with 17 seconds to go in this first half of action. They come out with 1 back and 3 tight ends. Now the Bears electing to call a timeout defensively. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. Now Cousins on 4th down. And it's going to be batted down. And will go the other way with a football. An incompletion there on 4th and goal from the 3. And the Chicago defense able to come up with a goal line stand. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. And the ball backed way up. So thinking with this amount of time on the clock, probably just sit on it. And we'll see these 2 teams go to the lockers.
Yeah, I don't think you want to overthink it in this situation. Either side of the ball. Just go ahead and finish up the half and get on out and talk about it.
And that one going to be off target and incomplete. So another incompletion there. He's hitting on fewer than half his pass attempts in this one, and that is not a winning formula.
Yeah, so let's make sure we give a little bit of credit to the defense here. They've given him a lot to think about, a lot of different looks, and he seems a little bit confused trying to complete passes.
And he'll just keep two hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup. So we have come to halftime in what's already a 2-touchdown game. As we'll head down to Orlando, that's where we find our man Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach, the Vikings have to like their position. They've got the lead. They get this football as well as we are back and underway for the second half. Now Jamal Agnew from his end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Starting the third quarter with Cook. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be second down. Not a whole lot there. The defense was ready, it looked, for that run-pass option.
You get the sense that next time he has that opportunity, he may keep it himself and get to the perimeter. Probably owes his back a little bit of an apology on that one, huh?
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Here's Cook again. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down.
And that's what this defense is going to need to do more in the second half. Good pressure that time, forces some indecision in the backfield. He's going to wind up being taken down for a nice loss.
Give to Cook out of the gun. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 82 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
First down, here's Cousins. Going for Jefferson downfield. And that is caught at the 10-yard line. A big play there for Minnesota. 52 yards. 2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Cook up the gut. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3.
And now defensively, you have to look at this like the game's on the line. It's just the third quarter, but another touchdown given up here could really spell an end to their chances. So,
and he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Dalvin Cook with his 9th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Vikings take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead. Joseph now to have the PAT. And it is now 21-0. Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him. Oh, that was a thing of beauty right there. Look at how quick those blockers fired off the line once the ball was snapped. That was an O-line on a mission, all in sync, and the defense is lucky that play only picked up 5 yards.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked by Cameron Bynum. And the Vikings are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD, and it feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his second season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
To the 27-yard line.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. He wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
On second down, it's Cook again. And not much of a hole there as he gets it down to about the 24-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down? Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
They'll bring the tight end in motion right. Another tote for the workhorse this afternoon. It's Cook. And he will have the Vikings first down. It won't be by much. He needed 3, and he got 3, barely. But the mark shows first down. So 1st and 10. And if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. Cousins. And this is going to be intercepted. Picked up by Jaquan Brisker. And the Bears are going to take possession here. It's a touchback, and they'll take over at the 20-yard line. Well, still down quite a bit here, several scores, but yeah, at least that's a start, Charles, getting the interception here. And look, we're still in the third quarter, so this thing not done yet.
You're right about that, Brandon. This defense, they haven't quit on this game. They stayed with it and got an interception and handed the ball back to their offense. And what you wonder about is the team that just threw that interception, they've got to be careful about developing a sense of complacency and thinking this game is over.
The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Here's Fields. He hits Mooney going across the middle. Then he will finally be taken down. But how about that play? It's a big one on the final act of the third quarter. 3 quarters in the books. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Now Fields. Caught here by Griffin. And he's going to get this down near the 25.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender.
Fields hit, and the ball is loose. And the Vikings pick up the football. And they have possession, and they have it at the 38-yard line.
As they say, this game hasn't exactly been one for the books. I mean, we're into the 4th quarter here, and now this happens, another turnover. Not one that they're going to hold up and say, yeah, this has been a banner day.
Absolutely. Still sitting on 0. And he's going to be stopped up quickly here. Just a yard up to the 39.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And that play is blown up, losing yardage back at the 35. So that'll go as a 4-yard loss on the play. And it'll be a 3rd and about 13. And not an easy spot here. They'll be in search of 13 yards to try to pick up the first. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Lets it fly for Thielen. And a penalty flag comes in as that one winds up incomplete, but the contact is going to move the ball well downfield. Maybe a critical mistake at this juncture is now they've got a 1st and 10. Cousins. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. A good pickup there, 21 yards. Well, normally you might say start running the football. You've got the lead here in the 4th quarter, but the way that they've passed it with such success, I don't know, maybe keep throwing it.
Yeah, I think you brought up something that goes against conventional wisdom, right? In this stage of the game, you would think you would switch to a running attack, but you're exactly right. They've thrown it so well throughout the game, and trusting this quarterback, I think he continued to do so.
And he's going to press this one forward as they stop it right around the 1. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it brings up 2nd and goal.
Dalvin Cook, so good in the open field, but he's equally good down here near the goal line. He can find those seams and just push his way through. So he might get another chance or two to punch this one in.
On 2nd and goal, Cook waiting in the backfield all alone. Throwing, Cousins. Touchdown, Vikings! Kirk Cousins with 3 touchdown passes now in the afternoon. And the Vikings are looking to make it 2 straight as they add on to this 4th quarter lead. And a decisive advantage became even more decisive. They already had the win in hand, but they keep pressing the tempo, and they pile on with another touchdown reception.
Would you consider that touchdown a reward to all the tight ends on their roster for their effort today? Not just running their routes, but all the time they spent in the trenches, laying down blocks, doing the little things to help that offense succeed. And for doing all of that, they definitely want one of their tight ends to get a touchdown to really seal this blowout.
Now Joseph tees it up to kick off following the touchdown. And he'll put up the stop sign there as his guys will get it at the 25. At the line, prepping for their next drive, the Bears offense. Their mini 2-game win streak appears it might be going by the wayside unless they can pull a rabbit out of their hat. Well, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play.
Talk about 2 sides of the ball and cross purposes, because mercifully this game's almost over for the offense, but the defense, they still want to get a few shots in. That front 7, they've loved this ball game. They've been able to pad their stats, and maybe some backups can get in and get a sack as well.
And he drops it incomplete, and their struggles continue here.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
And a throw there going to be incomplete.
At this point in the game, they've got to continue to try anything they can. They're still working at it, even though this one feels like a lost cause.
Fourth down, Fields has to have this one. Flush to his right. Now on the run, he'll throw it back deep over the middle.
Well, let's face it, Brandon, they're down here in the second half. You want to try and make something happen, and if you're the guy with the ball in your hands, you're going to try even harder, because I think all he was trying to do was to get outside the pocket and see if he can find a big play downfield.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They'll try the middle with Cook. And he works his way free all the way down to the outskirts of the red zone. 115 yards rushing for him now, as he has been tremendous all day long. At carries like that, that's how they're going to continue to salt this thing away here, Charles, in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, how about that? A new set of downs. Clock continues to move. No better way to close out a game than to tap those mastodons you have up front and say, guys, keep pounding them. Let's keep the ball, keep their offense on the sidelines, and let's close this one out.
They run again on 1st down. Cook. And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. That time the right guard sending him backwards.
And so many different types of guys rotate in on the defensive line now, depending on situations. You can get the bulky guy, the fast guy. No matter what, though, you can't hold them.
Cousins here to throw. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he went nowhere. Well, he went backwards, back to the 33. The completion, but they go in the wrong direction. A loss of yards, and now they're dealing with a 2nd and long. Now Cousins. Adam Thielen, back-to-back catches. And he'll be marked down at the 26 with a gain of 7. Third and long for Cousins. He's going to go up top for the end zone. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I think it's fairly safe to call this game over, but they're still trying to bomb it downfield and add to their lead. Almost makes you start to feel for the defense and root for them a little bit, too.
Fourth down, Cousins. And he's brought down. Can't do anything with a football. It's a sack and a turnover on downs. The Vikings unable to convert here on 4th. And the Bears will get the football back. The Bears offense ready to go for their next drive. At this point, partner, things looking pretty bleak. They still haven't scored here in the fourth quarter, facing the big deficit. Silver linings, what can they look to do here offensively?
You know, it's funny, I talked about this with a coach in the offseason and kind of had this scenario, like what feels good to you and what feels good to your team. You're down big. You really have like one possession left, and you're trying to put points on the board that don't matter. But do they? And he told me they actually do matter. And in this situation, he's going to try and run the best offense he can run, have at least a little bit of confidence to take away from that game. So right now, they're going to try their best to get something up on the board and not get shut out.
Throwing on 3rd down, Fields. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And unable to connect, incomplete. Now give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up 4th down.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
And here we go on 4th down, Fields. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. Now the Bears going to call the first of their timeouts, as they'll stop it with 25 ticks remaining on the clock. On first down, it's Fields. He'll leave it for Montgomery, complete. And a 6-yard gain gets him right around the 43. Now another timeout called for by the offense. That'll leave him with just one remaining in this fourth quarter of play. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Well, that one sailed a bit, but the catch is still made. 16 yards is the pickup there on a first down for Chicago. And now with 6 seconds remaining, they're going to burn their final timeout. So Fields is off, and on comes Cairo Santos for the Chicago field goal. Spotted at the left hash, this from 45. And his kick here is good. And that drops a deficit from 28 to 25. Well, it's a Pyrrhic victory at best, but, Charles, no team wants to get shut out, so it's hard to blame them for taking the 3 there.
You can't blame them one bit. It hasn't been the best performance, that's for darn sure. But there is something to be said for fighting to avoid the goose egg, and they're at least trying to finish out strong.
After the main field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. And no return here for Agnew, so they'll bring it out, start the drive at the 25. They'll start on the ground here on first down. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. So the final seconds have ticked away in this Minnesota victory. And I tell you what, I can't remember a defensive performance as good as this one. They seemingly forced turnover after turnover after turnover every time you turned around.
Yeah, you can just keep going with it, can't you? After turnover, after turnover. As this game unfolded, they were doing all the dictating, right? They told the offense exactly how it was going to go down today. So you saw them deflate with every series, didn't you? Every time they ran onto the field, it was slower and slower to get to the football because they just felt like if we go out there, we're just going to turn it over anyway. So it was really, really a stellar performance.
So for the Vikings, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they will hit the road next week to take on the Miami Dolphins. Meanwhile, for the Bears, the loss will move them back to 3-2 on the year. And they will be back home next week for a date with Washington. And for Charles Davis and our entire crew, I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports.